You pack 50 into a place that small, it gets pretty loud and pretty fast. Double overtime, you made it a lot more interesting, I'm sure, than you would have liked to getting out of there at Clarendon on Thursday.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we got there and about 6:30 or so, and the place was jam packed. Of course, they had all these little dribblers and what have you for the first game, and then they left at halftime of that game and went home. So thank goodness they scheduled them for the first game instead of the second game. That would have been a mess, but. We got off to a decent start. I think we were up 34-24, and had a chance, with about 3 or 4 minutes to go in the first half to go in at halftime feeling good about ourselves. But we shot a couple early shots in the clock and failed to get back and what have you. And I think we went 3 up, So, it's something this team doesn't quite understand that. Sometimes, when you get a lead, you're just as well maybe to take a little bit of time off the clock and get a very, very high percentage shot instead of going for the kill, because we're not that explosive offensively this year. So we have to be a little bit more intelligent with the ball. So we tried to talk about that at halftime, but it was not going to happen that night, and it sure wasn't going to happen in that situation. So we've come home and tried to discuss it at length, shall we say?
Sure.
I think I think they understand, but but when they're thrown into the fire, they maybe don't think quite as clearly.
The second overtime, you started going to Yannick Moreira at a lot, and Moreira got 6 easy ones in the second overtime before he fouled out, and really kind of becomes the difference maker in the back overtime.
Well, and the point is, why do we wait till the second overtime? And that's what we've been trying to get across to these guys. Now, it's not all their fault. I mean, Yannick, he has some responsibility in this too. If he wants to score at the basket, he needs to get to the basket, instead of floating around outside sometimes. But we're working on it, and we did a little bit better job of it, I think, maybe against the Mexico military. Our shot selection was a lot better. I know we shot the ball well the first half, but they weren't really, guarding us a whole lot, but we were a little bit more patient. The second half, we just didn't make the shots. I think we were 7 for 12 the first half from the 3-point line, and then 2 for 11, and basically the same shots, and so 9 for 23 or what have you. It's not. Wide open shots. Just like I asked a guy on my team, I think it was Kendall, after the game. I said, if we just came out here, just you and I threw you 10 balls right here on the 3-point line, there's nobody guarding you, how many of those you think you should be able to make? And he said, oh, 6 or 7, 8. And I said, yeah, so do I. And those were the shots that we had tonight, and yet we go 9 for 23. So, we've got to do something. We got to recognize that if you're wide open, you got to be making 55% of those shots, and we're trying to work to get to that type of shot. It's 2 consecutive times that we've played them that they've been down in numbers on their roster, and I think their game plan basically is not to expend a lot of energy on the defensive end and try to shorten the game. We'll come down here and stand around. You shoot. Hopefully, we can get the rebound and go back down to the other end. But we connected early and got out to a big lead. The thing that was disappointing to me in the game was even though we had 55 points at halftime, we don't do that very much. Nor does anybody in college basketball right now. It seems like, but we gave up 30 and. I was somewhat disappointed in that, and then the second half we got outscored 31-23, and I was extremely disappointed in that. But it went into the victory column, so hey, we'll take them any way we can get them.
It's an interesting stretch of basketball for you. Midland road trip, Howard road trip, return home against New Mexico Junior College.
You have to go play the games. We're really one game behind the curve. Had we have won the game at Howard, here at home, we'd be sitting fine. But it's just amazing how much that one loss has stuck with us all season long. Howard loses to Midland. They get swept by Midland this year. We beat Midland once, and then we have to go to Howard. I mean, just the back-to-back, 2 of the toughest teams, and on the road is not something that we wished for, but we had to deal with it.
Start out with Midland in a game you won at home, first time out. This comes down to a dogfight matchup, I think, where you've got 5 teams vying for 4 places, and everything's going to be a dogfight, especially at Midland on Thursday.
Well, it usually is 5 teams trying to get the 4 spots, and then, I mean, it seems like that's what it's been. I don't know. I've been here 12 years, and it seems like that's what it's been almost without exception every year. Maybe there was one occasion where somebody slipped in that was not in those. I think Frank Phillips got into the playoffs a couple of years, maybe 3 years. So. But most of the time, that's what it is, and we're all about the same, which is what I said early in the season. I don't know that this league is as good as it was last year. I tend to think that it's not, just by virtue of where some of our sophomore players are going the following season. But as far as competitiveness, it's just like it always is. The best team in the league is not near as good as what we were last year. The second place team is not near as good as what Howard was last year. But we're all competitive, and nationally, I think we can play with anybody. It's just a little down as far as as far as talent. The biggest problem that we've had, I think, with this basketball team is nobody has distinguished themselves as you got to have me. And we started Devontae all year. We started Yannick all year, and for the most part, we started Ryan Martin. But then it's the other ones just draw a number out of a hat, and that I think has been our biggest issue all season long. And now you talk about Anthony and Forrest coming back. Well, they're basically coming back into positions that have pretty well been paid for already. These guys have earned those 2 spots and what have you. I don't know if they can or not. I mean, we're deep. We're really, really deep on the front line. I'm trying to bring Jamal Samuels along, because I see some potential in him, but it's been very, very, sporadic. I see some in Mike Carino, but our front line is as good as anybody. We've just been so inconsistent, I think, at the guard spots. It's really caused a lot of problems for us this season. We're going to know a whole lot more the next time I talk to you about where we
exactly
where
right.
we are, I think.
3 before next Wednesday.
Exactly.
We should know a lot of answers.
Yeah, and then we have only 3 games. What do we got? We're down to 7 games, I think, and I mean, and every game is important as far as trying to get into the regional tournament. So we need to play well Thursday night and then again on Saturday.